Monster kill!
Battle begins.
Enigma late game or the push that they're requiring out of it. So is there anything that maybe fulfills a similar role?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Beast?
Yeah, but that's more push, and I feel like Entity, with considering they have more push than just a Beastmaster, isn't going to care. Or are you saying Entity to pick up for themselves?
Alliance to pick it up for the BKB piercing stun for the Enigma.
Yeah, but you've already got a Viper, right? So that's probably the lane that it's going to be being played in. BKB piercing stun, I mean, occasionally people do Treant and it's able to slow down a little bit of the push, but I'm worried that it's like we were watching the Gamers Galaxy tournament, right, where they were trying to do that against, I think it was just an Enigma plus a hero that wasn't as good at pushing as Chen was, and it just gets steamrolled. Like, you're so single target, you just move the Eidolons out of the Nature's Grasp, you don't care.
Where do they go? They go the Warlock route. Okay, so it's
BKB piercing stun.
It's a lot of team fight as well. You take a look at Entity with this Enigma so far with the Black Hole. They had no answer that in regard to Alliance. Viper, tiny, not a whole lot of team fight, so the Warlock will kind of secure that. At least you have some potential to go later stages. It's a hero we saw. I was surprised we didn't see it actually as much at the Major too, because Boom were here, a team that were running a lot on Schem, but they didn't fulfill, so they didn't feel that the Warlock was strong as well. So
and we saw a decent amount of the Enigma as well. I mean, look at this push, man. It's ridiculous.
But it's an Entity draft. Like, this is Entity, and you take a look at every single draft.
You know what you're coming up against.
You know what you're getting. It's very similar. They have the flex. I mean, it's going to be a Storm of Visage though, because we already see Toby's hero, so it's going to be interesting. Do you consider putting the Viper mid because you like the damage over time versus the Visage? But Viper mid, then you could have some issues with scaling. The hero can fall off very heavily if you're able to gank him and you have that capability with a Chen.
The thing going Alliance's way though is that they have that second pick. They're going to have the last pick of the entire draft to be able to round things out. So they're going to be able to choose where this Viper goes. What I want them to do now on Alliance, I'm not sure what Entity are going to pick up next. Something else that's going to help with push. I mean, yeah, Warcry. We've seen Katami play this with a really high level of success as well, just to give that little bit of extra armor. I wasn't going to say Pudge, I was going to say like a Juggernaut or perhaps even like a Razor being picked up, because it does pair quite well together with a Warlock. It also does a little bit of that damage over time to deal with a Visage. I just feel like Pudge is in this state where, like, let's say they flex this Sven to be a position 1, right? And you use the God Strength. Pudge will get destroyed because you have so little armor to be able to begin with, and there's no like aura builders right now on Alliance's side to be able to help out with that.
I think the big question for me as well is like looking across at this Pudge is, albeit you can like insta kill the Chen creeps and stuff with your hook, but at the end of the day, like if you're trying to find a nice little angle for you to hit a hook to try and reposition some of these heroes, there's so many summons that you have to try and get through as well. And
Eidolon, it's pretty tough.
So I do think now you're really considering about putting the Sven on the 1 for everything you mentioned. There is the flexibility to give it to Katomi. Of course, it's going to be nice with a ranged melee matchup with the Enigma in the offlane, but I think they are really considering about playing the Sven as a 1. We see some of the bans as well from Alliance. They're covering their tracks. Of course, you've got to get rid of the Doom. The potential just to flex it in multiple ways, and I really like that too, because Katomi can also play it as a 4, and they don't have this 24th pick, so there's still going to be a little bit of cover heading into it with not knowing where the draft is going to go. It's a lot of percent damage versus the Pudge, and can help out a lot with their team fight and their scaling.
I'm just thinking as well, like, what else do you want to be able to punish this Pudge a little bit? Like, they don't have great dive right now, so I mean, you could even get away with going something like a Sniper perhaps, because Sniper excels in those situations where you've got a melee 4.
It's banned.
Oh, is it banned?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
second phase.
Yeah, second phase by Alliance.
Nature's Prophet as well gives them even more push, allows you to sprout up and kite up the Pudge a little bit more effectively. Not horrible against the Viper in lane. Wouldn't hate it.
So you really feel like this Sven's not going to be a 1?
I think it has the possibility to be. I'm just thinking, like, what would Katami pick exchange for a Sven?
That's true, because he doesn't particularly play a lot of melee heroes.
Unless he's Zeus's. I wouldn't need a Zeus. Like, the lane is kind of but
Zeus Enigma lane.
Yeah, I know, but you've got, like,
you've got
a mini stun for the Pudge, you've got an escape to be able to get away from the Viper, you've got percent damage that you were asking for.
Okay, it doesn't seem too bad. What are we thinking for Alliance's final ban, though? They are still chunking into the reserve time a little bit here.
Look at Entity's bans, man. Every single hero is good at deep pushing, except for, like, Dazzle and maybe the TA.
Yeah, that is very, very true. It's going to be very, very hard for them to keep these creeps away from their towers. And is that where you're still leaning towards Alliance, trying to have something that can push these waves out a little bit more? They've got a decent amount of team fight, a bit of extra dot to deal with the Visage and all that kind of jazz, but
The only thing that's left in my eyes is like a Leshrac, and I feel like it's not too bad. You're going to have a Warlock to be able to give you a little bit of that healing over time. AoE damage is really great. Little bits of damage over time, good against the Visage as well. So I wouldn't hate to see that. It's just a question of how would that do in the lane against the Visage. I think should be fine enough.
I think if you do go down the Lesh route, again, you're not sure. You're probably going to see Entity's position 1. Hypothetically, though, if the Sven is a 1, it's a lot of physical damage and Lesh lacks armor. You can go Shivas, you can go another defensive item to kind of help out, but if Pure is playing the Sven, there are going to be some issues with the Lesh's armor. So,
okay. So it seems like Alliance right now are
they still think it's a +1.
So it is going to be the Razor. Okay, boys, final time here. You guys get 1 point. Who do you think is going to be here for Alliance?
I'm going to stick with my Leshrac pick.
Leshrac, Ares, this is for your point on the line.
Oh, they go
Wind Ranger, so you both suck.
Oh, no, not the suck.
Either way, it is going to be a Wind Ranger here to finish it out for Alliance. It is Weeha that's going to be picking that up. Pos 1 Pudge for Nico Baby as well. Limitless is going to be in the off lane of Viper. Right now, it's going to be a mid-Visage as well, boys.
Yep,
and
we were expecting
is
that.
going to be taking the Sven as a position 4. So how are we feeling so far about this?
I am happy that I picked an Entity.
Too much team fight, never too much push. It's an Entity draft. The panel put it best. That
Number 1 Entity facing off against Alliance, and I think the team is already in there. They're doing some little chats with each other as well. The have fun fish from two calls to start. So love to see that as both teams going to head out across the map here.
Yeah, I was looking at those last heroes and I was like, yeah, could I get like an Invoker? Could I get an Ember for Weehaw? And well, even with Weehaw, you know, 2 out of 3 shot, and I still missed the Wind Ranger. It's great to see. I wasn't sure if we bring it back out. I think probably his most iconic hero, I feel like, particularly over like the last couple of years. And so, you know, it's always a pleasure to see. It gave a little bit of purpose in some ways to the Sven, because like up until the Wind Rage, like, the physical damage wasn't that crazy from Alliance. So at least now that that Warcry will have a little bit of value.
Wait, so you're telling me that the good thing about the Wind Ranger pick is that it gave the Sven pick an even better reason to exist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, here.
Why is that not good? Is that bad?
It's not usually what you want out of your last pick, but
that's okay. She's balanced
sure
damage. It's fine. She's got lots of magic too. Grab a Maelstrom, you know.
Go, baby. Eyeing him up. Can't get there though, so Entity will pick up 2, and Alliance able to pick up the other 2 on the other side. So yeah, both teams heading on down their merry little ways. I will say that I think there is like a little bit of a wrench thrown in there with the Wind Ranger. Like it's sort of such a bizarre and strange hero that maybe you can like pick off these heroes as you're trying to, you know, cut through the different waves, and before that push gets to the tower, you can just like find one of those key pickoffs, because that is the thing about Entity's draft, right? Is that they really want to like be playing together and constantly just keeping that ball rolling. So if you get a couple pickoffs, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, there's a reason why Pudge and Wind Ranger are 2 of the most frustrating heroes to both play against and play with, and that's because if they hit their spells, they feel really broken. You know, Wind Ranger is in that category. If she hits those shackles, it can just be fight winning. You know, you max this thing out, you're roaring 2 targets. It's pretty nuts.
So good, so good. Well, we've talked a lot about it. Haven't talked a lot about these lanes and how they're working out. You can see in the mid lane at the very least 3-3 and 0-2 for Weehaw. Just can't quite get the last hits going. That Grave Chill really annoying to deal with there. So that's something to be a little concerned about.
Oh, bottom lane hits the hook onto Pure. That was some great damage back. They just did like, you know, walking the dog, get a big link on him, but Nico Baby gets in the tower and gets a couple of hits off on Pure by hooking him into the range. So that was excellent. Ducalis unfortunately tanks a lot trying to chase after for the bonus damage there, but Entity definitely getting the lanes they would want, I imagine, right? Pairing up this Razor and Sven to walk into the Pudge lane, and then up top the Enigma just kind of chilling with the Chen. But you can see working with the double denies here on Alliance, just trying to deny as much as they can as well from the Enigma draft. And hey, look at that, even missing a couple last hits. So
yeah, that's what you want to see. I mean, worth noting, everybody thinks about the black hole when it comes to Enigma, but I think that much more this patch, you've been seeing the power of the Eidolons and just getting a couple of those like team fight oriented items. And if you can deny some of that farm early, it's definitely a big bonus there. As they do get another link onto Nico Baby down bottom. Still has the hook available. doesn't decide to throw that one around. But of course, having Ducalis right there nearby means that you instantly have the heal back up with the Shadow Word.
Yeah, and this level 2 is so powerful in this hero, right? Because one of the biggest buffs this hero ever got was the enemies bound 6 at level 1 on the Fatal Bonds. So it just gives you a ridiculous amount of harass, even just at the earliest stages. So when you can hit onto a full wave like that, and then in combination with someone like Pudge, right? You know, maybe get that soul ring up, a little bit of regen, you're rotting everything. Maybe you can finish someone off because of that, but at the very least, you can hold them back. You need to temper some of this aggression coming out from a Razor and a Sven dual lane, because you really don't want Nico Baby to fall behind.
Fishman toss back. He's already used his TP, so Limitless is going to get some pretty good harassment there onto Fishman. He already had to TP out, but Toby keeping that Malefice pressure back against the Viper means they won't end up being able to go for any extra pressure.
Courier is coming in there as well, but looks like it will manage to get there, and still grabbing a couple creeps as well here. Fishman getting the heal creep, of course, you know?
That one's so nice.
Of all the creeps this guy to get, he has the headdress, he has no regen, and he gets the heal creep.
It's kind of crazy.
Desire needed to like toss that thing or something, you know? He needed like some mana and just like get this thing out of here.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you saw Fishman there, it was 2 rounds of heal and then also getting the heal amplification, and Fishman's back up to full health. So super annoying to play against. I don't know if it's necessarily going to like, it probably stops him from dying too if they decide to go on him.
Well, I mean, look at him.
Yeah, he tossed
if
back
he lives
in.
this, Chen's gone too far.
Dude, the heal creep, it's trying to keep him alive. It's off cooldown, 2 seconds away. Tries to get it. It's not quite there. Limitless gets the first blood. Still Troll Priest, not good enough.
All it took was tossing him directly into a Viper, and we managed to get the kill, guys. We can slow down Chen.
To be fair, that was the 3rd time that happened. So, you know, still maybe a little insane for that hero.
It takes a village, you know? Raising children, killing Chen, especially a Fishman Chen.
Fishman.
You know, Entity, yeah, as a whole, though, imagine if Alliance manages to take down the Fishman Chen in game 1. That would have me shook for a group stage. Just saying.
Oh, totally. You wouldn't pick Chen against him, that's for sure. I mean, you probably still will, but...
I don't think he can stop himself, yeah. And again, you know, we heard some of the players saying, I think even Stormstorm was saying on the panel, he's just like, you know, Fishman's Chen kind of sucked before this event. You know, he's really been working on it. He's been grinding it. And now look at him. Now he's like one of the Chen players you think of lately.
True. True. It's what happens when you start playing a really good hero. Ducalis Courier is going to go down, and it looks like they're going to find him again. Are we going to end up going for the Caster Curse for round 2, or do they just bring in all the Eidolons? Does have a heal, keeping him alive on Fishman. The turn, Desire taking some more punches after the Eidolon split, but they won't be able to find anything extra. It does feel like a bit of a turning, though. With that second creep there, a lot harder to get active with the Tiny Viper combo.
Oh, it's just doing a great job here. Full panic mode as everyone's getting low. I appreciate you, Observer.
What's up?
Yeah, we're doing well here. This is good. That Observer ward, though, up top, as you saw, like, by Fishman and Toby, that was doing so much work in that fight, right? Like, when Fishman tries to get the turn, it helps keep Desire alive by getting that vision. He's able to get back now, get some stacks set up in that Ancients for them. And we haven't talked much more about the mid lane again because, well, the mid lane was kind of useless until right now because Stormstormer is level 6, has an Arcane Rune, the birds are out, and this is when the hero exists.
Right, and going to try and tank through a little bit extra pressure there. The catapult is going to go down. You can see Fishman just bullying back again, completely out of that top lane.
Yeah, so, Limitless and was getting chased by Toby and Fishman all the way out. Oh, great D-ward there as well from Fishman. Catches that off, backing up Stormstormer, really assisting in this mid push.
Yeah, it is slow, but with Katomi nearby, they might think about going in with a little bit of a Stormhammer stun. I mean, it's pretty tough to bring down Weehaw. That is definitely a benefit that you've got on this hero. Very difficult to find a kill onto that Wind Ranger. And Nico Baby just left completely alone underneath the tower. We'll see if they decide to go mid again. Now they're just going in for another round of trying to bring down that tower slowly and steadily, but the Shackle's there, able to land the Avalanche, but no toss. So Entity will just back out, and well, even get a couple of pot shots there on the Wind Ranger as they return. So 3 heroes mid for Alliance and 3 heroes mid for Entity.
Yeah, nice defensive play there from Kataomi, just being nearby, having the Stormhammer, but you know, that's going to be a setup I'll probably see a lot, right? Like Stormhammer into Bird Drop, and then you can just be wiped out on these side lanes if you get a little bit too split up here on Alliance. It's not like they're only able to do things when they're a unit on Entity. Oh, look at that. Oh, Eidolons. Oh, yeah. Hit him.
That's a good chunk of damage right there. The Penitence combos through for some really good bits, but Ishman, Weehaw turns onto him, does a couple of stop commands, which means he can't get the full damage. And in fact, he needs to be a little bit careful here as they bring in the stun. Black Hole dropped and Weehaw just dies in the lane.
Desire's just sucking back a clarity. He's like, please, just a little bit more. Couldn't cancel the Black Hole. And the worst part is that Weehaw was trying to hold that power shot too, right? Like he needed one more stun because he wanted to guarantee the kill from Desire, getting the lockdown on the Fishman. But Desire, you know, one of the downsides of Tiny, if you're not dying, you're not getting your mana back. He's too good, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a problem. This is what happens when you gank Fishman Chen. It's all a problem. I mean, this is where we really might start seeing the draft come together. Like, I wasn't even anticipating Black Holes for a bunch of kills, but we've got 3 creeps mid with the Visage Birds. That tier 1 tower dead in the mid lane, 8.5 minutes in.
All right, well, hey, you got that counter at least. Yeah, we'll take that. Hook and a Centaur, that's value.
True enough.
But you know what terrifies me? We saw this so much at the major, particularly from Entity, and well, instead of Pure, it was Saberlight, but existing in this off lane as Razor, and you're just like, oh, what are we gonna do about this Razor, guys? Like, he is just farming, and he's just gonna get huge down here, and then he can just like rotate into the engagement when he wants, and suddenly he's gonna show up at 18 minutes of the BKB, and what are you gonna do then?
He spot a Void Stone too. He's getting queuing up for the refresher already. He just wants a casual. That's a sick build.
That's actually a sick build, yeah. I feel like,
dude,
you know, a lot of players maybe
Void
just
Stone.
Yeah, and then eventually get it. Yeah, that's good. Increase that farm speed. This is like the CTY buy 1 Hyperstone, you know?
Oh yeah,
eventually,
for sure.
you know.
I like it. I like it. Well, at the 10-minute mark, we already have 2 tier 1 towers down. The bottom safe lane tower is the only one that's left alive. Not normally what we see. As Stormer Birds go on in, Ducalis slowed down. There are a lot of people coming your way, sir. Did not get to drop the rock. Oh, he did get the fatal bonds off, but it won't matter. And now Desire goes down too.
You know you're in trouble when the Warpine Raiders are setting up kills with Seed Shot. That's when you're like, these guys, you know, when they're rolling up and you're dying to them with the fall, like there's just so much follow-up. Any single little bit of disable. And the birds come down. He's got a low HP Mud Golem, you know? He's ready to get a little shard split going on here. But Kataomi, even with the Warcry, will fall.
Yeah, can't quite get out of there in time. Storm was hoping for a help, but doesn't end up happening.
Looks like he got hooked and then into Shackle. So nice setup there from Nico, baby.
Played with that hook coming through.
We haven't talked much about it in this game either.
Problem.
Well, that is true, but he does have Vanguard, and he's getting to the Aghanims, you know?
Okay.
The Vanguard's really nice. We're seeing this giant swarm of units, right? Like when he has Vanguard and he has Aghanims, he is going to be hard for Entity to take down.
That's true. I do kind of wonder if at that point, though, like you've got these other things going on, right? Like the Witchblade, for instance, on Stormer, you probably are going to have like some pretty good damage to Razor. We'll see, though.
Positives, Lyrical. Positives, okay?
True. Desire is positively dead. He is going to go down to Hook, though. Finding Stormer. They do have the bird drops. Tries to get out of there. Chen, Hand of God. The heal, it won't be enough. Alliance, they find a much-needed kill in the Visage. It cost him a golem, but they'll take that one.
Yeah, and get a bird kill after as well. That's a free 100 gold for Weehaw. That's going to put him towards that Maelstrom. Nico, baby, leading the charge with his top hat in hand. Taking that tier 1 tower with the help of a Dijin Golem.
Oh, is that what that is? Nice.
I don't know. That's must mean. I feel like I played enough video games where that's what that guy was there.
They walk up a hill. Fishman's creeps are all right there. Does up bird. Do they decide to go for more? Stun comes out. Hurricane pulls him back in. The hook off the mark to save his Viper, but they won't be able to do that much here anyways.
My summon stronger.
He's big boy. All right, things looking a little bit better here for Alliance. They're keeping that 2K gold lead right about.
Oh no, he missed. He missed the shackle.
Pure might. Nah, he's not going to go down anyways. I was wondering if maybe his Desire throws him back in, but too dangerous.
Yeah, it was only level 1 shackle anyway, so even like a 2-second stun probably wouldn't be enough unless they had someone TPing in for like an Avatos play. And then there's an Enigma, so kind of disappointing you didn't get much with an Invis room, but it's also a lot of wasted time where you're not farming if you just like keep stalking this Razor. So. By the way, great vision right now from Entity. We got a ward expiring by the Roche Pit. They have a ward expiring in the Radiant Ancients. They have a ward in the mid lane that's going down. Like, they just saw everything Alliance has been up to. And Alliance still got that kill up top with Nico Baby's Nuts. You know, they're fighting through the vision. Currently sitting under a ward. I bet they're probably going to lose this one as well. You know, like Ducal's obviously trying to play around it at the moment.
Yeah. It's be nice if they keep that one up there for a little while, but we'll see if it actually ends up happening. Fishman runs on through. He has 3 of the Alpine Raiders right now, along with that Wildwing Ripper.
3 sentries
for
as
action. And the smoke is going to be bought now. So this like has slowly continued to kind of tilt into the favor of Entity. It hasn't been like a huge like difference maker yet in terms of being able to win them the fights consistently, but I'm curious if like what is the item when Alliance feel like they want to start going, because Nico Baby's halfway to Ags.
Yeah, Ags is obviously huge. Unfortunately, the other one is probably a Blink Dagger on Desire, right? But not had he's the lowest net worth in the game.
Yeah, it's
he only has 10 last hits, and think about how he's been sitting bottom too for quite a while. Like, what's going on, bud? I mean, I know he's had some missed opportunities on ganks and everything too. What's really happening is that the pressure of this bottom lane, like at first it was just pure on a Razor, and then it was occupied by Toby on an Enigma, so he doesn't feel safe.
Move on in, and they find themselves limitless. There's a good reason not to feel safe. You come to this lane, you're dead. And yeah, it's showing kind
See,
of.
I told you. This is why I have 10 last hits. You know, he's like, don't go down there.
He'll get a couple more here along the way, but I mean, it's still a dangerous spot to be in, that's for sure. Link done for Enigma and going into the Spirit Vessel next.
He just Avatos that wave and he missed the ball, unfortunately. That was so sad to watch. He was looking at that Fairy's trick and he's like, yeah, that'll be enough.
You can run. You should
Big
run.
That's half your mana pool, you know?
That's true. No, that is the problem with the tiny support for sure. Pure is almost at BKB now. I feel like he was just telling them, like, I almost at BKB and then we can fight. And that's what the tip came from, because game is looking pretty good for old Pure on the Razor.
This is going to be quite the storm that they need to weather here on Alliance.
They do have some nice little pieces to help them with it, though. You know, maxed out Fatal Bonds. They've got Chaotic Offering. Maelstrom's completed for Wisa, so he actually has some pretty decent damage now. And when this Aghanims is done, you can imagine like a Fatal Bonds with Nico Baby in the midst of all of it could be pretty strong.
Yeah, it's definitely the category of like, oh, they have comeback potential, like, you know, vacuum into to RP. Like that kind of is what this damage output's going to be like. It is absolutely ridiculous once you have the Aghanims plus Fatal Bonds. And on top of that, they even got the shard finish. You know, we're talking about how Desire's been pretty poor, but Ducal's able to get that shard. That's really going to help with the D push on that Warlock, getting that AoE Shadow Word, as well as potentially during those team fights as well. You never know. Maybe you catch a couple enemies with the bonus damage going.
That's true. And the other thing about it is that right now for Alliance, I mean, they're kind of all building into items to make them stronger. They're not building for that mobility, and you know that Entity is going to be running at them. So if things work out a little bit, this net worth lead might not end up mattering as much. But I mean, it's scary when you see like the Vlad's mech Shenton, and they're just going to run straight into the pit.
Yeah, they just boldly charge up into the Ancients as well with Warcry, you know. Kataomi, he doesn't have a mobility item. He's just working towards... I mean, sorry, he is a Tumbler's toy. My bad. But yeah, he's willing to just run up there and provide vision for these blink black holes, and even when they don't find someone, they just leave that ward up there. So easy Roche, definitely not something you want to contest right now as Alliance. They're so close to getting this Aghanims. He's actually got the gold now on Nico Baby. So you're saying there's a chance does apply right now.
All right, we'll see if they can make it work. That Ags ready to go.
I like this call from Ducalis. He says, smoke, follow me. He's like, run away from the Razor. Do not go. Like, they just saw him TP there, right? So they're all just going to run top and try and find a fight without Aegis Razor and BKB. This would be so huge if they caught someone.
Kataomi, oh, he gets the Tumbler's toy away as soon as that smoke breaks. And Weehaw can't quite connect. That would have been the moment for him. Nico Baby had the Aghanim Scepter, but it looks like they won't manage to connect onto any of these heroes for Alliance.
Fishman's just like playing an RTS right now.
He really is.
Then like between him and Toby, like the Eidolons, there are just so many units.
Yeah, and I mean the birds, just everything. It's all a huge problem.
Who loves Warpine Raiders this much?
So good. They're awesome. What are you talking about? That siege shot, 100 damage apiece. Imagine this. You get a black hole down, you get like a 300 damage AoE nuke. That's awesome. They find one. Stormstormer. Left completely alone here. In some trouble. Nico Baby ready for the hook, but doesn't want to quite go for it. It's a battle on the south side as Weehaw gets caught by Toby. They have the stun now. Desire, he's all linked up to toss away, but not far enough away, so they'll kill the Tiny. And just like that, Alliance have to back away again.
If that's all they lose, I feel like you're going to take this, though.
That's true.
You know, there's no creep waves at any of the objectives right now, so at the very least, yeah. Unfortunately, they weren't able to force a BKB out of Pure. Speaking of which, Pure.
You can run.
Thinking about it.
Should run.
Visage has Ags, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, and an Essence Ring. He's going to be very hard to bring down.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Getting into the Shard next for the Visage. But as much as Alliance has some really good strength going right now, I feel like they're also getting to a state where Entity is hitting that next tier of items.
Dude, there's a Wraith Pact. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's tough for Alliance because it feels like they had to make a move, but at the same time, if you make a single mistake, like it was just so risky. So I understand like sitting back and they didn't find their moment, and Entity had amazing vision. I do think that's played a huge part in this game so far because they've just been able to see everything Alliance has been up to. Look at that aggressive blink by Toby.
And they just black hole immediately going to be broken, but the fatal bonds, will it be enough? They're on to 3 of them. Nico Baby tries to walk forward into them, but they get the hook to pull him back in closer. Dismember, it's not quite enough. Oh, they take down the Pudge. They lose the Chen, but the battle is going to be for Entity as they lose 3 on Alliance. And
yeah, while we were watching
to run away.
We did see Desire get hunted down as well between Kataomi and Pure, so overall, though, you know, I like that Alliance took that. I think it was looking like maybe there's a chance, right? You get a couple spells down. Pure shows up a little bit late, so it's not a total stomp. They get a couple kills back their way. Not the worst case scenario overall.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think that is something. I mean, yeah, it's tough, right? Like at the end of the day, you've got such a sort of incredible strength with Entity's draft at this point in the game, and Alliance, I'm not sure what the power spike is, but it's not big enough to match up to Entity right now. Like, to call it just, that was one hero. That was nothing.
Did you see the play Weehaw was trying to make that bottom as well? Like, he was sitting there with the Invis Rune. We were taking a look at it for a second there, where he's sitting down with Invis Rune and hoping someone's going to show up so he can maybe get a solo kill, because he's got 3 points Shackle Shot, or at least he can like force a BKB or something, but then his courier ends up dying. Oh, and he gets caught. Ooh, no.
Is there a chance for a turn and a kill? It doesn't look like it. The link is there, and Weehaw is dead. Oh man, that is a tough one. Toby finds his man.
That was so good. Because like Pure killed the courier and he kept going for the next wave. And so Weehaw sees that and says like, okay, he just wants to kill the wave. I'm gonna get this wave and then get out. But at the same time, Toby TP to the tier 1 down bottom. And he just waits until he shows again and then chases him in and actually catches him TPing in the trees.
Pure finds Limitless. Stun. Oh my god, I saw it break. That guy should have been stunned in the fountain. But Limitless gets away and will, I think, have his BKB completed now.
All right, well, Lyrical, what are the most broken abilities in Dota? What attribute do they have? Okay, that one's pretty good, but also displacement, right?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
moving heroes, and what
I hear ya.
We got Hook.
What?
We got
I see
Toss?
some moving heroes.
No,
I see some heroes
don't look.
moving. I see some heroes moving. I'm a little concerned. Stormstormer, though. Okay, Dismember immediately broken. Goes into stone form. The Avalanche not doing quite enough. The Hand of God is there, but Nico Baby in trouble. Desire tries to throw him away. Everybody underneath this tower. Oh, Black Hole is back off cooldown in 4. They decide not to go.
There's so much rallying happening here.
That's true, man.
He can't even handle these units.
Dude, there are too many. Legitimately too many. Oh my god, and now he has the freaking wolf too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
How hard are these? Man, this guy just needs to go solo Roche. He's like, guys, just delay,
much.
okay? I just want to go to Roche with my army.
So Skeleton Warriors base damage 12. Right now they're at plus 50. So
Yeah.
it's 6 times the damage. Stun onto Weehaw. He's gonna run away.
Are we watching Heroes? I only care as Fishman army.
Oh, the black
he almost
hole. He
got him
finds
both.
one immediately broken. But is Weehaw still gonna die? Oh, the stun down. Pure right on top of Weehaw. He just wants to get away. That's not gonna happen though. And Nico Baby inside his own base gets turned upon. Katomi finds him. The Avalanche, it won't stop it. They toss it. He goes even further. Katomi calls is like, how dare you betray me? As they find him in the base too. There's no creeps here to claim objectives, but Entity, they are doing whatever they want in this game.
Well, if the game plan was to fight the enemy you know rather than the one you don't, that didn't work out because this was an enemy lineup through and through. It was exactly how you expect this team to play. There's a Chen, there's an Enigma, there's like 2 offlaners pretty much between a Razor, more like 3, I guess, between an Enigma, a Razor, and a Visage. So, yeah, they were not able to find the answer to just like a straight up Entity. I think they might have to try and remove some of those key pieces next time.
You know, I'll tell you, in the ultimate big move, Entity tweeted at me before the game, have fun casting our triple offlaner draft, and they're doing it. As Desire, they turn on him. Stormstormer up on the hill, a couple misses, and back in storm form, he's living. Pure pops that BKB, gonna run down Weehaw. The stun now onto Limitless. As Pure looking for a high five, is godlike with the double kill. Nico Baby hoping, praying for any type of a miracle as he too is gonna get ran down. He's just getting kited. He doesn't have anywhere left to go. Honestly, go for it, but immediately it gets broken again. Pure? Oh, he barely lives. Triple kill for him, double buyback, TP out, doesn't have a TP. He needs out, but no, Nico Baby. Nobody kills me in my base twice.
You should run.
I'm surprised that he actually had a chance to use his BKB before this game ended.
That's fair.
I thought he was going to make it the whole way out of there, but yeah, you buy back, you get a little bit of gold, 1,072 back. More importantly, 2,500 XP to Viper and Pudge. So, come back.
Come back. Where there's a will, there's a way, Trent. There is a will, there is a way. And there are some interesting answers here. You know, the Golem keeps on getting dropped to cancel Black Hole. That's pretty good answer.
Look at the mini-map. The giant pink line of units just walking towards him.
Fishman.
Dude, go
currently
Roche, please.
Above Weehaw in net worth.
He needs a solo Roche. My life will be complete. Get rid of this Centaur Courser. All right.
That gives him magic resistance. Can't power shot him away. Dream.
Oh, he does have the shard as well. I thought everyone loved themselves an ancient frostbitten golem.
true.
Who doesn't love chucking a good old ice ball?
This is his ideal army, okay? Also, does have the drums now, so Boots of Bearing come up soon, and that's when the damage really starts to go crazy. God, it is just such a hard game, though, for Alliance.
Do you think they force a fight top and his army just takes bottom? Like, they just take this entire lane?
I mean, maybe.
Look, dude, Collins is drawing the line. He's like, guys, this is an army bottom.
Yeah, they legitimately can do this. I mean,
there's a catapult, like...
Chen creeps are insane. There's no doubt. And
for
Alliance,
smoke gank the army.
Like, they are just walking across the map as 5 farming. Like, everybody just wants to play as safe as possible, and it's the right decision, but it just feels so bad.
I'll have a double BKB fight, so that gives them one chance. And maybe get a blow up really quick. But what do they do if Toby hits like 2 heroes with Black Hole? Well, I guess as long as he doesn't hit the Warlock, then we're fine. He can still just Chaotic Offering, so that's still good.
This tower's dead.
Yeah, but so's the army.
That's true. It was meant to be. They did their job. They got their men.
I feel like that wasn't very good Chen play, though, to let your whole army die like that. After they did so much for you. I feel like that's just the morality of it is what bothers me, not the skill level.
Oh, and now also they don't have any Chen army creeps to help them out here. Get him, drop the golem, make it happen. You call us, no, it's not meant to be in the black hole for round 2. Nico Baby is found. Nico Baby will die in the duration of his BKB, but not before taking down the Sven. Not bad, not bad. Weeha is also gone, but Limitless also going to fall. That is 4 dead for not a whole lot.
Toby's just like, checks watch, Warlock dead, Black Hole time, you know? That's it. It's that simple. Even though there was a pretty good opener there at that fight, right? They had the instant Linken's pop there onto Pure right away with the Shackle, and then they got him with the ulti. So even though he had the BKB, it's not able to protect him. They sort of have him locked down, but Toby, just knowing Ducalis was gone, he just has the freedom to hop into that moment. And even, you know, obviously a full HP Pudge with a Midnight Pulse to worry about at points. If that BKB's not running, is going to be a problem there too. So there's just like so many layers they have to worry about as Nico Baby in these fights.
True. Well, and I think the thing that's tough about it too here is like, you do have, I mean, these moments where it feels like, okay, maybe there's an opening there, you know? Warlock gets the vision down up on the high ground. 4 heroes are kind of grouped together, but at the same time, like, you kind of have to wait for that black hole to come out, and it's just going to pull you in a losing position. The toss not very far back. Oh, and Desire gives the sorry as he is going to get ran down, pulled into the depths of pain that is Pure. They have a buyback on Tiny, but won't go for it, as Entity ready to walk down this lane and end this game. It has not looked particularly close. At 30 minutes, they can GG out if they want now. 5 minutes.
Is that what they were waiting for? They've been playing too much 5 party queue?
Maybe that's
I like the
we'll
attitude of not GGing out really early, because this game was over extremely early. The percent possibility of coming back, Dota Plus is a liar. It says it was like 15% at 15 minutes. It was more like 5%. It's the thing about it is that, like, you know, you're getting warmed up. It's your first game in the group stage. I don't want to see someone GG out of 15 minutes, because that's just not going to put you in a good headspace. You might as well like fight it out. And even if this series ends up being a 2-0 or something, like, you got to find somewhere to get your footing. So this is as good a spot as any. You gave them all their tools. I mean, you can definitely blame this one draft. Maybe that was a preconceived notion. It's like, hey, maybe we'll win, and if we don't win, we'll just blame it on the draft. Easy. Nice mentality work here, team.
I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to do. Pure, tempting fate, ready to run in. He's got a Lincoln Spear and an Aegis. You don't want to fight this man, but he might not let you get away. Limitless, chase down. They find him. Alliance is separated. Pops the BKB, tries to walk away. Hook is not going to connect. Nico Baby gets a little bit of separation there, and they do have the Fatal Bonds, but I don't know if it's going to matter, although they do isolate and take down Stormstormer. Okay, a little toss action, pulling him back in. Fishman almost caught there by the hook, but won't quite go down. Ducalis drops the rock onto 3, but there is no follow-up. Immediately mech, and Ducalis will die.
Alliance escaping in various directions here. Just trying to find something, push some waves out, get something done before the army comes to our high ground. Even without Visage, they're willing to push.
Top tower.
Wow, they do buy back now onto Ducalis, but no Rock is ready. Pure, again, the one that's walking up front and center, stunned before they were able to get the Dismember, and the black hole. No golem for you. Ducalis is being pulled on in. Into the fountain they go. GG is called before the fountain farm is fully completed. And with that, Entity take game number 1 in dominating fashion.
That's just ending. That's by the book.